play basketball.
3,000! History with an exclamation!
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied. Yankees are champions of baseball.
All right. Well, it is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. 97 days after your New York Yankees have been eliminated, and they have finally made a significant roster move to their big league roster. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, episode 968. We finally get to talk about something pretty exciting. They made their first big move by acquiring Brian Cashman, went out and acquired Ryan Weathers. This is a big lefty, big left-hander from the Miami Marlins, former top prospect for the San Diego Padres. Just turned 26 years old, so that's great. He is 5 years into his big league career. Has a major league resume that is very sporadic, very inconsistent. We'll talk about the injury stuff. Career 4.93 ERA, 1.38 WHIP, 5.03 FIP. So that's not going to stand out to you. But this is a highly touted kid who went from A-ball straight to the bigs, and he made his major league debut in the postseason back in 2020. Struggled in his first full season in 2021, so he was sent back down for work in 2022. Promoted again in 2023. Struggled again, traded to Miami midseason. Struggled initially with Miami, but he has found something in his last 2 seasons with Miami. Now, it's a small sample because, again, the injuries, and we'll talk about that stuff. But Ryan Weathers, the Yankees are hoping to get what they've seen from him in his last 2 years, where across 24 starts, 125 innings, he's got a 3.74 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 2.6 walk per 9, 8.3 hits per 9, and 117 strikeouts. So, listen, he is another one of those lottery pickup moves, another project, pitching lab arm for that Cashman went out and got, and he's going to throw into Matt Blake's pitching lab and hope that Matt Blake can tap into him. Right? One of those guys, they like to do that. They're very good at doing that. They gave up nothing significant in terms of quality, but they did give up 4 prospects. That is a lot, but you're getting a starting pitcher with control, so it makes sense. Dylan Lewis would be the headliner in that deal. He is the Yankees' number 8 ranked prospect. I believe he was one of the guys who was supposed to be in that Edward Cabrera deal before the Yankees backed out of it. So I'm assuming the Marlins called them back and hey, we still like, Lewis, and the Yankees were like, all right, well, you guys got a lot of pitching depth. Who else can you throw at us? They end up getting Ryan Weathers, who has, I think, at least one option left, but he does have 3 more years of control. That's huge. And again, poor results, just the surface level results that he gets are not good, but there's a lot of good underlying stuff in there. My biggest question, and I'm sure it's your biggest question, what was the intention behind this deal? Was it because they just think he's good? And they consider him the big get in terms of this is their starting pitcher that they're going to have get them through the first half? Is that what this was? Or is this pitching depth is it pitching depth that's going to make maybe a Will Warren or Luis Heel expendable for a bigger starting pitching trade soon to come? I'm hoping it's the latter, because if it's the former, I am not so sure I'm going to be in a good mood. Now, Chris Kirschner, beat reporter for The Athletic, covers the Yankees, did report on Twitter a couple hours after the trade that this is not going to impact the Yankees from going after top-end pitching, and someone like Peralta is still on their minds. So that's a positive. That's what you hope. Because for all the upside stuff, which we're going to dive into, there are big league issues. And I'm going to list some of these issues, and a lot of these issues that we do list go hand in hand. So, cause and effect type stuff. But I think the first problem when it comes to Ryan Weathers is that he's injury prone. This is a kid, pulling up my phone because I want to go through some of these numbers here, who went through the head, shoulders, knees, and toes of injuries. I mean, he has, he had an index finger issue that kept him out in 2024 for some time. That's fluky, but the concerning injuries came last season, where he dealt with a lat injury and a flexor injury. That's a little more scary. His career high in innings pitched, believe it or not, was in his rookie season, 94 2/3. Since then, he's been below, he's 3 2/3 in 2022, 57 2/3 in 23, 86 2/3 in 24, and then last season, 38 1/3 innings. So, that's what makes me think this guy's going to be put into the pen, unless he's flipped, because he's hurt a lot. Now, when he's out there on the mound, good talent, but the ERA is high for a reason. And again, the FIP is even higher than his ERA, so it's not just bad luck. He gives up a lot of home runs. He averages 1.6 home runs per 9 over the course of his career. That's a terrible number. It's been as high as 1.9. That's location, in my opinion, more than it is stuff, because he's got good stuff. It's that four-seam fastball gets hit for a bomb the most. Gives up a lot of home runs with that pitch. The changeup has given up some damage. And the sinker has not been great results-wise. Now, the intrigue with somebody like Ryan Weathers is certainly there, and I want to talk about that the minute we get back from our first break here in the pod. Stay with us. Be right back.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going.
Okay, I just hit the wrong button there. Hold on, give me a second. That's from last season. Here we are. All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you all tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We're talking about Ryan Weathers, who the Yankees acquired earlier tonight. Again, it's January 13th. There's some intrigue here, man. There's a lot to like about Ryan Weathers. He is a former number 7 draft pick. Was a top 5 prospect in San Diego's system, was the number 2 pitching prospect in their system behind Mackenzie Gore at the time. And despite some bad results, his changeup and his four-seam are really plus pitches. They profile very well. He's got a great changeup. It has really good drop to it. It gets high whiff rates every year. Again, these are small samples on a year-to-year basis, but I want to read off some of these whiff rates on the changeup that he gets. And I'm going to do that right now. Last season, the changeup, 41% whiff rate. He threw it 188 times. The year prior, 38% whiff rate. He threw it 368 times. 2023, he had a 28% whiff rate. He threw it 252 times. Gets a lot of swing and miss. I believe the average for whiff rate, I'm not exact here, but it's 25%. So the fact that he's up there in the high 30s and 40s, very promising sign. The expected numbers on the changeup are very good. So even if the results, like the batting averages and the slug, last year it was pretty high, the expected numbers every year are usually pretty solid on the changeup. And remember, he's going to the New York Yankees organization, which means, the Yankees work very well with left-handed pitchers, and they work with their changeups very well. They've done it a lot over the years. They've most recently done it with Rodon and Yarbrough. So if they can work with him at that, pitch becomes even better. But he's got a big fastball. It's a big four-seam fastball that plays off the changeup very well. It's got some pretty good spin. It's got a lot of arm side action. It's got some good ride, so there's good shape on the pitch and very, very good velo. It averages 97 miles an hour. He is a hard-throwing lefty. It's awesome to have another lefty arm, another arm with heat if they do put him in the bullpen. And then he's got a sweeper that's pretty good. The sweeper's got some upside. It's got pretty average break, but it's not a terrible thing considering he does throw that to righties a lot. As a lefty, you don't want it to break too much if you're throwing it to righties. But it gets good results every year. It gets really high whiff rates, so it's doing something right. And I want to read off some of the whiff rates on the sweeper. Again, this past season, he threw it 120 times, and it got a 39% whiff rate. This is a good one. 2024, threw it 305 times, and he got a 52% whiff rate. It's a pitch. Again, it's doing something right if hitters are making contact with it less than half the time. It's double league average. So it grades out above average, the sweeper does, in Stuff Plus. At least the last couple of years it has. So it's a very good pitch. Sweeper, changeup, four seam. So he's got the fastball, and then he's got 2 off speed, 1 to play to each side of the plate if he has to. When he is right, Ryan Weathers is a ground ball guy. He will put that ball on the ground. So you got someone like McMahon at third. You got someone like Volpe at short if he's healthy, and Caballero can play defense. Jazz is an excellent second baseman. So all of his secondary pitches are capable of getting grounders. The sinker, the changeup, the sweeper, slider, if you want to call it that. And a good thing about him is he doesn't walk guys. So keeps the ball on the ground, doesn't put guys on via the walk. If you want to go over some of his walk rates, year by year, this past season, 7.2%. League average is about 8.5. So last year, 7.2% walk rate. Year before that, 6.5. So very good the last couple years. And career average in terms of walk rate is above average as well. So he is a left-handed pitcher. So yes, you are adding another lefty to Fried, to Rodon, and Yarbrough is, it's a lot of lefties, but again, for a guy who's not afraid to throw his breaking stuff to either side of the plate, it's not as big of an issue as people make it seem. I feel like a lot of people just say, oh, he's another lefty, oh, he's another righty, just because of the handedness. They don't actually think of why that's important. So because he's the guy who can throw to either side of the plate, he's got breaking stuff for each side. It's not as significant. He likes to backdoor the sweeper to righties. He can front door his changeup to righties. He had reverse splits last year, but mostly over the course of his career, he has been better left on left. So yeah, this is Ryan Weathers. Where does he slot in? That's yet to be seen. We'll figure it out, but depends on his role. For now, he is a starting pitcher. So, if you're looking at the opening day rotation, Fried, Schlittler, probably Weathers, and then it's Warren and Heel. And then you got Yarbrough and Blackburn pushed back to 6 and 7 again, which is good, which is what you want. You don't want those guys in your staff. But again, I do think Weathers is a better pitcher than Heel. Just talent-wise, I think there's more there. So I think this could make Luis Heel, or again, even Will Warren, as two guys who've got team control, expendable if the Yankees were to continue to look for starting pitching and try to get someone like Peralta. If he is moved to the pen, we've mentioned this a ton here on the show. One of the biggest issues with the bullpen that I had last year, the biggest issue, was the lack of velocity. And now you're looking at a bullpen that has a ton of velocity. After ranking 24th out of 30th last year in average fastball velocity, you're looking at a pen that has Camilo Doval, that has David Bednar, that has Yeri De Los Santos, that's got Caleb Bort, if he sticks around, that's now got Ryan Weathers. So you're talking about some hard-throwing weapons here. And Weathers can fit very well next to Tim Hill, kind of play off each other nicely. Tim Hill is a lefty who throws a lot of slop. He's a soft thrower. You can go to Ryan Weathers if you want to for left on left, hard thrower. Different kinds of lefties. It's nice to have that as an option, something to play around with. So I like the move. I think it's a good move. But for a real final verdict, I have to see if the Yankees are still going to be aggressive in the starting pitching market. And if this is what they do as their big get, I cannot say I like it. But for now, it's a good low-risk move. And if it keeps their options available, I'm all for it. So you let me know what you think. Do you like the Ryan Weathers trade? Do you not? Let me know in the comments, social media, wherever you reach out to me. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. That's going to do it, and I'll see you in the next show. Later. Hey guys, thank you for listening to BD4. Be sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to us on YouTube, and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time.